Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. We're continuing going through the rest of the Awakening set, breaking down the cards. We're on Daring Escape, neutral hero event, 2 resources, has ambush, so you get that additional action after you play it. Reroll any number of an opponent's dice, then remove all their dice, showing blanks. So this can really mess with somebody's strategy. So if they're looks like they're trying to set up a big combo, you pay your 2 resources, make them re-roll everything if you want, or if they already have a blank, you can just set that aside, have them re-roll everything else, and then everything that's blank gets removed. So not only does it mess with their strategy, but it can also potentially remove a ton of dice as well. Especially if they're playing in decks that are running like if you're running like a Power of the Dark Side deck, where like stormtroopers and some of the guns have a lot of blanks on them. This is a good way to get your opponents to reroll those, hopefully land on those blanks, and then if they roll blank, they all get removed. So that's Daring Escape. And then also, again, ambushes on top of it, so you get to reroll a bunch of their stuff, remove a bunch of their stuff, and then do another action after that as well. So that's Daring Escape. We're going to move on to the next card. We are now on Don't Get Cocky, Yellow Hero event, 0 resources. Each player draws 2 cards. So you get to draw 2 cards, your opponent gets to draw 2 cards. This can work out really well in mill decks. On top of that, you're getting to draw 2 cards, which is always good. But in a mill deck, it can make your opponent draw cards. So you're making them draw 2 cards, and then if you have dice to resolve that have discard on them, you can essentially just mill away whatever they just drew. So if you're trying to get their hand down, let's say they have just a few cards left in their deck, you have them draw 2 cards, you resolve some mill, they mill 2, maybe 3 cards. If you're playing with Akbar, if they mill the last card out of their hand, they take damage. So Don't Get Cocky is a really good card. It's good. It's a good card to simply just get cards. The negative is that you give your opponent cards as well. So this is why I probably would only really run this exclusively in like a mill deck. So you get them to draw cards and then just mill them away. That's Don't Get Cocky. We're going to move on to the next card. We are now on Draw Attention. Yellow Hero event is get again 0 resources. Up to 2 damage from one of your characters to another one of your characters, and it ignores shields, so it becomes unblockable damage. I've noticed in a lot of games I've played, and a lot of games I've watched, generally when you're attacking characters, you're really focusing on one character first, get that character, eliminated as fast as possible, and then you move on to the other character. If somebody's doing that and you have draw attention in your deck, it's a good way to have a little bit more survivability. I'm running a couple of these in my mill deck because I think they're going to focus fire either Akbar or Padme, and whoever they focus fire, I can play draw attention to move damage off of them onto my other character. And if they're focusing on just one, the other character is possibly at full health or close to full health. So getting just 2 more damage on them isn't going to really put them in a ton of danger, especially if the other character is almost close to being defeated. It's a good way to just get damage off of that character and then survive. And then also you can couple this with something like Field Medic. So you draw attention, take 2 damage from one character to another. You play Field Medic later to remove 2 damage. So you can pull damage off of one character, get it onto another, and then Field Medic to get that damage off of the character that you just moved it to. That's draw attention. We're going to move into our next card. We are now on Hyperspace Jump, the dreaded combo card for the Hyperloop deck. 3 resources. In the action phase, you may switch the battlefield with the battlefield that is not being used. So you pay your 3 resources, or if you're running Hyperloop, you either have this already in your discard pile or in your hand. Millennium Falcon lets you play it for free, and then you just end the action phase right there. You basically just end the round entirely. Also, it has the you may switch to battlefield option. So if you're playing on a battlefield that you don't want to play on anymore, or let's say you're playing on Jakku and somebody else is playing on, let's say, the Emperor's Throne Room, and you want to get back to Jakku because of the ability when you claim it to get stuff out of your discard pile, can play Hyperspace Jump, end the round, and then switch the location. So it's like a ship traveling from one planet to another. A lot of people don't like this card because it's basically the linchpin of the Hyperloop deck, but it does have its uses outside of that, especially if, like with Jakku, or if you want to get back to Jakku or whatever location. Like if you lost the roll off, this will give you the option to actually go back to the battlefield that you brought in. Especially if you're running a deck that is battlefield dependent. Like this actually would probably fit well in my mill deck. I'm not running it in my mill deck currently, but I'm running the command center, which is the location when you claim it. Um, your opponent discards 2 cards off the top of their deck. So if I lose the roll off and we're not playing on the command center, I can use Hyperspace Jump to get back to that location. That's Hyperspace Jump. We're going to move into the next card. We are now on Let the Wookie Win, 1 resource. Force an opponent to choose to either deal one of their exhausted characters 2 damage or choose and remove 2 of their dice. So you play this and they get the option. If they don't want to take damage on an exhausted character, you get to remove 2 of their dice from their dice pool. So it's kind of up to the opponent at first, and then if they decide not to take the damage, you can then remove 2 of their dice. So you're obviously going to remove some good stuff. If they have like a die that's holding a combo together, or a die showing a special that you don't want to have to deal with, you get those dice removed. I think if I was playing against this, I would generally choose to do 2 damage, unless the 2 damage would, defeat my character, or even if it defeated a character. If it wasn't the only character I had left, I would probably just take that damage. Like for example, if I was playing against this in like a new deck with a new Obi-Wan that states, when it dies, you get to play a blue card for free, I would probably just take the 2 damage on Obi-Wan, providing that he had already been rolled out. I think sometimes damage could be better than having dice removed, especially if you are depending on like a certain combo of dice, like a certain number of damage dice to be rolled out, or things like that. I'll generally just go with the damage. That's Let the Wookie Win. We're going to move into our next card. And the final card we're going to look at today is Negotiate. So 1 resource. Remove 1 of your character dice to force an opponent to choose and remove 2 of their dice. So if you rolled a character out and it rolled a blank, or didn't roll really what you wanted, and your opponent has a few good dice showing, you can play Negotiate, move your character die, and then they choose to remove 2 of their dice. Also, I think it's very good because it's 1 resource, and also it's a 1 to 2 removal. I think I still like he likes you, or he doesn't like you a little bit more, because it costs 0 and you each remove a die, and I think you get to choose which ones to remove. With this one, you're paying a resource. You're only removing 1 and they're removing 2, so it's a pretty good trade out. And that's Negotiate. Pretty simple card. And that's going to do it for today's video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. I want to thank you again for watching, and I want you all to take care. Have a good one.